Volume 5, Filipino Folklore. Hi, Audings. Welcome to Stories with Sapphire. I'm your Ate Sapphire. When I was in junior high, I attended 1 week of outdoor school. It was like summer camp except during the school year. And there was one night I'll never forget. The sun had already disappeared and we were walking through an area far from the campgrounds that we had never explored yet. Suddenly, our leader stopped and told us that one by one, we would be returning back to camp by ourselves. It was called a trust hike. It was to prove to ourselves that our built-in navigation systems are more powerful than we think. Our leader was going to stay with a group in the woods, and another counselor was waiting back at the campgrounds with a walkie-talkie to let them know when each of us returned safely and to send the next one up. Obviously, I made it out okay, but I think about that exercise often and wonder, has it ever gone wrong? That was the inspiration for today's story. And now, it's story time. Alexandra was so excited to finally become a summer camp counselor. It had been her dream since she went to camp years ago. Getting paid to be outdoors and boss kids around, how could she pass that up? It was the final day of training, and she and her leader, Gu, were hiking in a part of the campground she had never been to. Gu stopped very suddenly and turned to Alexandra. All right, newbie, this is the final test before you officially become a counselor. It's time for the trust hike. Alexandra couldn't help but smirk at Gu's attempt at being serious. We are officially off the campground map you were given. I hope you were paying close attention while we were walking because you will now need to find your way back to the mess hall by yourself with nothing but this. She handed her a flashlight and took Alexandra's phone. Alexandra looked up at the horizon. The sun was already mostly hidden. She was not comfortable with this. Seriously? I have no idea where we are. Every counselor before you has been through this and made it out just fine. You're not as lost as you think. Trust me. Alexandra looked out at the dense and dark canopy of trees before her. She took in a deep breath and walked through. The crunch of the leaves beneath her feet was booming in her ears. She steadied her breath. Leaves snapped behind her and she whipped around. Nothing. Stop being so paranoid, she thought to herself. We didn't run into trouble on our way here, so why would I run into trouble on the way back, right? She looked down at the ground. So far, the path was pretty clear. She could do this, she continued to reassure herself. They wouldn't let me do this if it wasn't safe. Her confidence faded when the path beneath her disappeared. Did they pass that log in that tree before? Or maybe they came from the right through that small opening. Alexandra's head began swirling with second guesses. Her flashlight flickered. She smacked it repeatedly until it went completely black. Something grabbed her from behind. Gotcha! Gu's voice echoed throughout the forest, her face illuminated from beneath. She couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
You really thought I was gonna send you back alone? Messing with our noobs is the real counselor tradition. Come on, let's head back together. Alexandra playfully smacked her again, and they continued to walk. Gu led them past the tree with the log. Alexandra sighed. She would have definitely gotten lost if this was a real challenge. After about half an hour, Gu stopped. What's wrong? I think we're lost. Okay, sure, Gu. Let's just go. What the? Maybe it's a different tree and log that looks just like the other one? There's no way we've been going in a circle. We've been walking uphill this whole time. Let's just keep walking, come on. Another 30 or so minutes had passed by. Surely they had to be getting closer to camp. And then they saw it again. They heard a tree branch crack in the distance. Gu shot the light towards that direction. They saw the silhouette of a tall, muscular man, but his head did not. look human. Gu and Alexandra screamed and ran in the opposite direction. The sound of hooves echoed through the forest as the creature stampeded its way towards them. They batted tree branches out of their way and stumbled through thorny bushes until eventually they tumbled out onto the pavement outside of the mess hall. They looked back at the forest. The sound of hooves had disappeared. Scratched and bruised, Gu and Alexandra jumped up and down and hugged.
We're okay, Gu. We're okay. Ah, we're okay.
Alexandra! Gu! Alexandra? Gu? Where are you guys? Gu? Oh my God. We're okay, Gu. We're okay. We're okay, Gu. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. In Filipino folklore, there is a creature known as a Tikbalang. It has the body of a muscular man with the head of a horse. They love to mess with travelers in the forest and get them lost, sometimes manipulating them to the point of insanity. If you suspect that you're being played with by a tikbalang, you can reverse the curse by turning your shirt inside out, which confuses the creature. If only Gu and Alexandra had known. Ranny and Sig had only known each other for a couple of months, so they both agreed to have a small, intimate destination wedding in a remote forest, free from familial judgment and input. After landing at their destination airport, they went to the rental car kiosk. Maupay na oras, and what brings you to Samar? We're getting married in a beautiful church near Gandara, I think? They know better than me. They picked the spot. Oh, near Pagsanghan? Yeah, we wanted to do something a little different. We've both been through this wedding stuff before, so we just wanted to cut through the BS and make it just about us. Right, babe? And you're returning the car tomorrow? That's quite a short trip. Yes, we're not the type to wait around. Come on, babe, let's go. Sig grabbed their bags and headed to the car. Before Ranny left, the cashier stopped her and handed her a piece of paper. Be very, very careful out there, ma'am. In the car, Ranny stealthily opened the paper and quietly chuckled to herself. She rested her head and took a nap during the long drive to the church. When Ranny woke up, she found herself in a wide clearing in a beautiful, lush forest. A line of torches lit the way from their car to the only building in sight. A small chapel, much different than the one in Sig's photos. As they rolled their bags to the door, she paused. A line of very still people dressed in burlap material were staring at them. Babe, I thought you said it was just gonna be us. Who are these people? Don't mind them, they just maintain the place. Well, as long as they don't disrupt anything. After Ranny and Sig got dressed, they reconvened inside the chapel. The decorations were, again, a lot different from what they discussed, and the burlap-wearing strangers were lining the church walls. Sig noticed Ranny nervously patting down her dress. This is all traditional Samar practices, babe. The skulls remind us of the only thing that could end our marriage. The bowls of blood represent our future offspring. Don't mind them, they're acting as witness to our vow of love. I can't wait to be married to you. Why don't you go first? Ranny continued to restlessly smooth out her dress and shot glances at the people watching as she recited her vows. When she finished, Sig began to laugh maniacally. Their once charming visage morphed into a hideous demon's.
You made this almost way too easy, you stupid girl. Didn't anyone ever teach you to be careful of who you trust? And now, your soul is mine.
You thought you found me at the bar that night? Honey, I'm the hunter. Didn't anyone ever teach you to be careful of who you trust? Ranny turned to the burlap strangers who were now armed with sticks. Who's next? It is said that there is a magical hidden city on the island of Samar in the Philippines called Biringan. It's thought to be inhabited by Engkanto, creatures who appear as beautiful people and seduce you. They bring you back to their homeland, and if you enter into a contract of marriage, they will reveal their true, hideous selves and steal your soul. Let this be a lesson to all you monsters out there. Never underestimate the power of a woman. If you don't want to be lured to Biningan by an Engkanto, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Submit your own stories to storieswithsapphire@gmail.com. For more spooky, supernatural, and spiritual stories, listen to the Stories with Sapphire podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. If you like what you saw and would like to support this independently run show, head over to patreon.com/storieswithsapphire. Until we meet again, sleep tight.